Oh shit. I didn't mean to do that. Hold on. Hold on. I didn't think it would do that if I just turned off studio mode. What the fuck? Alright, anyways, hello everyone. My name is Tom. I'm the Sugma male. This is my talk show. It's a late night Sugma program. That's what we're doing. Look at the place I'm in. Look at all this. Isn't it beautiful? You know it is. Don't try and lie to me. And saying this ain't beautiful would be a lie. So, I am actually a liar, though, because, I advertised something that I'm not fulfilling. I said it would be boys' night this week. I said we would have Ricky and Huey on. Ricky, the manager for the round table. Huey, the guy who went on Sup Caitlin's stream, and she called his penis cute. Not gonna be on this week. I'm sorry, everyone. I know that people were looking forward to it. I know Milky Puff was looking forward to it. I apologize. I don't even know when Milky Puff is going on. So, there's that. We gotta talk about that. But, we will have a guest next week. We actually have a pretty big guest next week. I'm not even lying. Like, this isn't even like it's not even like a Tom Holland, like, April Fool's thing. Like, we actually do have a pretty big guest next week, but I'm not gonna say who it is until the end of the show. You gotta stick around for that. But I'm moving Boys Night to 2 weeks from now. I'm planning on having Speeve on as well for Boys Night, even though Speeve is non-binary, so I don't really know how that works. I'm peaking somehow, despite being far away from the mic. I actually don't even know how it sounds. How does it sound, everyone? Let me know in the chat. How do I sound? I'm somehow managing to peak from all the way over here. Well, not even peaking, but I'm in the yellow. I'm gonna turn the sound just a little bit. Just a little bit. Just a tad bit. But I have noticed that, like, you know, whenever I go to edit this stuff after the fact, when I'm up on the mic, like, right here, I do notice some mouse sounds and some, like, you know, when I say S's, the whistling sound of the S's is much more prominent when you're up here close. I also think that the AT2020 is kind of just one of those mics where that stuff picks up a little bit more, because I've noticed that other people who I watch, other people who make videos and stuff, when you see them using one and they're right up on it like this, you can kind of hear the S sounds a little bit more, which I hate that, but also my mouth likes to make that sound a little bit more than I think most other people's mouths do. So that kind of sucks. And also, we don't have a guest this week. And, like, I appreciate the fact that Ricky let me know they had something earlier in the week. Unfortunately, with Gotta Speed, with Nick, I think that it was like a last minute thing, so, and that kind of fucked me up, because I was like, okay, I got an hour of content where I basically know where it's gonna be, so I don't have to worry about that, and then last minute it was like, there it goes. I don't have anything to fill that. But this week, I got some stuff planned. I'm also gonna wing it a little bit. This is just gonna be a kind of a chill week. I'm still planning on going the full hour and a half. I feel like an hour and a half is basically what the runtime is now, which is about par for the course, considering back in the day, Steve Allen had to fill 90 minutes for his show, and he was the original, like, late night talk show host. So if Steve Allen did 90 minutes, I can do 90 minutes, and that makes sense. That's not what I wanted to do. That's not what I wanted to do. Okay, hold on. Okay, what are we talking about this week? What are we talking about? Also, I should probably just go full cam, because I'm not talking about that right now. What y'all want me to talk about? Everyone in the chat. Also, we're doing Q&A. I forgot to mention that in the intro. We're doing a Q&A tonight. Gonna do a Q&A segment. So you can go on my Twitter and respond to this tweet. We don't have any responses on here. Or you can just go straight to my Instagram at TommyPQM and reply on the story there. We have a handful of submissions, but of course I would like more, because more submissions means more content. I'm using you guys for content. That's what we're doing here. So the more of y'all who submit questions, the more content we'll have. So that's good. We'll get to that later. I'm probably going to do that more in lieu of the guest spot, where instead of interviewing someone else, we're going to interview me. I get to be the star of my own show for once. Not fucking Tom Holland, that piece of shit. Fuck Tom Holland. He's a little bitch. We have no respect for Tom Holland. He is banned from this broadcast forever. Also, y'all should go watch the video on Sugma Mail of Tom Holland being on the show if you haven't already. And it's time. This works. Is that too loud? No, that's fine. Okay. Alright. Let me just scroll through here. Here's the picker wheel. The picker wheel. Let me mute the tab. Alright, that's not what I want. Go back to the beginning. Bring it back. Bring back the fun music. This isn't it. I want the question. Bring back the fun music. Woo! Woo! Let's go! Let's go! What do we get? Number 9. I don't even have my pad, my thing. Is it in this one? Let me see. Let's see. $100 hammer curls. Why do I keep getting the workout ones? Why do I keep getting the workout ones on this? It's 100 hammer curls. Okay, whatever. I mean, that won't be too bad. Just game show sound effects in the background. I don't think it'll be too bad. Alright, how's the music? Is that too loud? No, that's fine. That's fine. That's fine. Alright, let's go. 50 per... I'm not doing 100 for each arm, because that'd be crazy. We're gonna do 50 per arm. And that should be fine. Okay. Sets of... I don't know. I'm just gonna do set of 10 and see where we are. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I wish I could do this faster, but I don't think I can. 1, 2, let's just try 20. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay, I can't. Doing this all at once is hard enough. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay, that's 40. This is harder than I thought. I'm gonna have to start cheating a little bit. We're gonna start doing cheat reps. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay, that's 60. I had to stop for a second. How are we doing tonight? How's everyone doing? How'd y'all's day go? We don't even have any viewers right now. Whatever. Okay, so... two more sets of 10 for each arm. The content. This is great content, bro. Alright. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Bro, I did arms yesterday too. It's always right after whatever body part I do, the wheel always decides, actually, you're gonna do it again. Last time I had to do squats the same day I ran. This time I have to do hammer curls the day after I did arms and back and chest. So of course. And it always makes me look like a little bitch. Alright. One more set of 10 per arm, okay? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I'll come back to that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Okay. And for any of you wondering, let's see. This is 25 pounds. 25-pound weight. In case anyone's wondering. Hell yeah, bro. Back me and who? I don't get it. Bro, I gotta stop doing the workout ones, because every time I do a workout ones, whenever I do a workout ones, I'm just sweaty and tired the rest of the time. At least I don't gotta do an interview this week. We're interviewing me this week. I'll leave the bell thing up. Holy crap, my anterior, the thingamajigs, they're burning. My shoulders are on fire. Again, just signal boosting this. Y'all can submit questions for me to answer later on tonight. I do not have enough water for this. Okay. What else do I want to talk about? Let's talk about this. I kind of meant to be a little spicy with this one. And I said the belief that we need to protect women from getting absolutely dunked on in competitions is overcorrective and otherizing. What I mean by this is, let women get dunked on. Let women compete in sports or whatever, where they're gonna get dunked on. Let them get destroyed, bro. Because listen, dude, men are allowed to get destroyed. Women, we're like, yo, we gotta protect women from, like, you know, getting destroyed in sports and stuff. Because, like, I don't know, we're weak. We're losers. We're like, yo, no, we can't see women getting destroyed. I went on to say people always strawman about this, because it's always like, yo, okay, so what you're saying is this like 5'2", 100-pound woman should be in the NFL getting sacked by dudes who are 300 pounds, and it's like, no, I'm not saying that. And like, this homie who's friends with Jax, I think his name is Mike, he commented this. I'm actually glad he did, because he wasn't trying to like start shit or anything. He actually brought in, because he and the anime trainer are actually much more knowledgeable about this stuff than I am. I know a lot, but they have enough knowledge to actually explain shit that I can't. I actually agree with them, because they weren't really arguing. They were just expanding on the idea, which is great. I actually appreciate that. Like, they weren't arguing that, like, no, you're wrong. They were like, well, here's the thing that people don't consider about this on both sides. And that actually allowed me to be like, yes, I actually agree with this. Because basically what they were saying is like, well, yeah, sure, theoretically, what you're saying is correct. However, it's not going to be common. It's not going to be likely. I'm like, yeah, I agree. That's my point. It's like, because that's the whole point of like this the straw man thing. It's like I'm not saying just like any woman can like compete in the NFL or some shit like that. I'm saying like an elite woman who is like willing to put herself on the line, willing to like potentially take an L and maybe even be behind some of her competition just because of like the natural advantages that being a man and having testosterone and shit like that might offer you. Like I think that you should be allowed to do that. You should be allowed to jump into fucking the lines then and just be able to take an L. Because like part of the thing is like why have there not been any women in the NFL? I think partly because most women and even like the NBA, even stuff like that, even like I think it's more mostly because we as a society have decided that's not a thing that happens. It's not a thing that should happen. Partly, I'll get to that in a second. Remind me before I go on to the next segment so I don't do a thing again where I just completely forget until next week. And my point is, it's just the fact that like people have already kind of decided like, you know, this isn't a thing that should happen. Part of it is just because of like gendered bias. And it's like, you know, there are women who are probably strong enough, probably athletic enough to be competing with men. But we as a society have just kind of decided that's not a thing that can happen and also a thing that shouldn't happen. We've kind of decided that's like not okay. And I think that's dumb. Like it's kind of just like overcorrective and otherizing. It's mostly because like, you know, like listen. We see dudes in the NFL like German suplexing each other on the field, and I think that what people are worried about is like, what if a woman gets German suplex on the field? Well, guess what? I think women have the right to get German suplex at the Super Bowl. That's my hot take. I think women should be allowed to get just absolutely destroyed. And one of the arguments people also bring up is like, oh, you know, it promotes violence against women. I don't think you can call a situation in which someone is consensually engaging in physical activity violence. I mean, it's the same thing with intergender wrestling. Now, I'm a big proponent that intergender wrestling should just be a thing. Like pro wrestling. Also, just amateur wrestling as well. Like, I compete against women all the time, especially because, like, amateur wrestling and, like, college Greco-Roman wrestling is already divided by weight class. And let me tell you something. I competed in that shit. I wasn't always as strong as I am now. I wasn't doing 100 hammer curls on the fucking... on Twitch for everyone to see. I wasn't always doing that, bro. I wasn't always that strong. I was once the small kid who wasn't athletic and wasn't that strong. And let me tell you, I went to some wrestling meets where I got on the mat with a dude who just threw me around like a I went to a couple wrestling meets where I got thrown around like a rag doll. And guess what? Was I at a disadvantage physically? Fuck yes. Like, no doubt. Like, I was... Like, here's the thing. I was wrestling dudes who were my size back then. Hold on. I actually have... Like, this is what I used to look like. Look at this little... Wait, it's mirrored. Look at this little string bean. Look at me. Look at me compared to now. Like, look at that compared to now, bro. Like, I was wrestling dudes who were my size now. Like, the size I am now. And they would throw me around like a rag doll. And guess what? I used technique to actually put up a fight. Was I at a disadvantage? Of course. But you know what? It would piss me off when people are like, no. You shouldn't even be wrestling, dude. You're too small. You're too small. Like, that would piss me off because I'm like, dude, no. Like, I know what's going to happen. I know the risks. But, like, I'm not going to be able to even have a chance at hanging with these dudes who are physically more developed than I am, have already gone through puberty more than I have. I'm not even going to have the chance to compete against them or be anywhere near their level or develop the technique necessary to even be able to hang with them, because I did. Like, here's the thing. I would be in those matches. You would think, like, okay, massive disadvantage as far as strength, as far as, you know, all that athleticism. It would be an easy, like, 1, 2, 3 for them. I didn't let it happen. Never. I think I might have got pinned once, and I made that motherfucker earn that pin. I made him. Actually, no, I got pinned a couple times. um, I think when I was wrestling varsity, I got pinned both times. One time because this dude was just a freak. He was a freak, but like part of the thing was like with JV, you weren't necessarily wrestling guys in your weight class. So I was wrestling guys who were like 150, 160, 170 when I was like 112. So I was getting bodied, dude. And I was wrestling varsity, and the one kid was just a freak. Like he was just freakishly, like he was a senior when I was a freshman, and he was just like he knew what to do. Like I was more helpless in that situation against a guy in my own weight class than I was against dudes who were like way stronger than me. Cuz this dude was just like wrapping me up in ways that I was just like, what are you even doing? Like my legs were going in all different directions. He had me all fucking tied up. I was pinned, I didn't even know it. Like it was just ridiculous. And then the next match I should have won cuz I was kicking that kid's ass and he was like scrawny as fuck. Like here's the thing, I've always been kind of short. This kid was probably like 5'10" or whatever. I was like 5'5", maybe, I don't know. And basically what he did was like he picked me up to slam me, and he was too weak to actually like follow through on the slam properly, so he just dropped me. I broke this collarbone. It's still weird. Like, I mean, I think I got too much meat for you to actually see it on cam, but like it's like this basically. That's what the, like, you know, a collarbone is supposed to be straight. It's supposed to be like that. It's just supposed to go straight across. Mine is like that because it broke. And you can like feel it if you run your hand across it. Like you can just feel like this knot in there. And yeah, I physically couldn't kick out at that point. He was just like, he just snapped my collarbone. Like, I mean, that's a pretty good strat, bro. Like, how am I supposed to, like, if I can't lift my arm above here, how am I supposed to like kick out, you know? Like I can't. It doesn't matter how much like neck strength and like leg strength I have. It doesn't matter at that point. But yeah, I mean that's like my experience as a dude who's, when I was much smaller and weaker. I mean now it's like I'm still pretty small technically, but like here's the thing, like I was in a position where people are like, no, you shouldn't even be wrestling, dude. You shouldn't even be doing that. Like you're like you're gonna get hurt. And I did get hurt. Against a dude who was like weaker than me. Like I got hurt because the person I was wrestling was too weak to actually properly do something, and he ended up hurting me. Like that's what happened. It wasn't because I was too small. If anything, it was because I was too big. I was too bulky for him to actually, you know, do the thing properly. And I just ended up getting dropped really awkwardly. And the thing that pisses me off is I let him do it too. I was literally like, okay, like I'm kicking this dude's ass, and he went to like pick me up, and like he got me, and I was like, okay, like I could fight this and like try and get out, but in the moment I was like, okay, if I just let him do it, I can easily just like work off of him. Like if he slams me down and then like goes to like take the top position, I can easily reverse it and then, you know, get a point doing that, and then just fucking break him down, pin him, 1, 2, 3, easy. But then he just dropped me and fucking broke my collarbone. I was like, you piece of shit. God damn it. I wonder what that kid's doing now. He's probably like a fucking, I don't know, he's probably like an accountant or something. Oh, jeez. Anyways. Oh yeah, we gotta spin the wheel again. Should've given the Sugma plex. I should've, bro. That's what I was gonna do. But then my collarbone broke, so. No, stop. Oh my god. Stop going into to tense music. Alright. Let's do it. Spin. Woo! 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 Alright, let's see. What we got? What we got? What we got? Don't be another workout thing. 14. Next segment. Easy. Number 14 is move on to the next segment. Okay, let's move on to the next segment. Let's talk about Cody Rhodes. I know last time I talked about wrestling, everybody kind of left. That's because I was kind of talking more inside baseball, like nitty gritty. But this is going to be more casual friendly, okay? If y'all care about storytelling, character development, shit like that, which I know y'all do, because y'all, my audience comes from talking about animation. This is basically me talking about the story arc of a character. Okay, so who is Cody Rhodes? More importantly, why is he relevant right now? Well, this past week, Cody Rhodes appeared at WrestleMania. Now, from the outside perspective, you might be thinking, why is that important? Why does that matter? Why are my lips dry? Not anymore, because I just used chapstick. It's important because a few years back, WWE was the biggest fish in town. And then a new fish came along called AEW. And Cody wasn't necessarily the guy who created AEW, but in the minds of many wrestling fans, he is. Essentially what happened was back in 2018, I believe. And I've talked about this multiple times because me and my boy Huey, who should have been on the show this week, but unfortunately, things got moved around. We went to Chicago to go to a wrestling show called All In. And All In came from this guy making a bet with Dave Meltzer, a wrestling journalist, who said that no company outside of WWE would be able to draw a crowd of more than 10,000 in North America. And Cody Rhodes said, all right, bet. And he did it. And what happened was that got the attention of billionaire, son of the owner of the Panthers, the Jacksonville Panthers, Tony Khan. Tony Khan, who is a lifelong wrestling fan, said, okay, I'm looking at all the talents outside of WWE. I want to start a wrestling company. And that he did. He created AEW, and one of the main guys, along with the Young Bucks and Kenny Omega, to basically be in a management position and also just be one of the first brainchilds, the people coming up with shit for AEW, was this guy. The guy who was greatly credited with coming up with the company that was going to destroy WWE, or at least offer competition to WWE, showed up this past week at WWE's biggest show of the year. The most famous wrestling show in the world, to be honest. But let's talk about Cody Rhodes a little bit. Let's talk about who Cody Rhodes is. Cody Rhodes is the son of Dusty Rhodes, a legend in wrestling. Cody Rhodes was also with WWE from the age of 19. Here he is back in 2009, I'd say, along with Randy Orton when he was WWE champion. And here, he wasn't really doing much. He was just Randy Orton's sidekick, basically. Because he was just a young guy. He got in the business because his dad was in the business. His older brother was also in the business. And he was signed on, and he didn't get to do much. Because he was in the stable with Randy Orton. And here's the thing. Y'all know how in Dragon Ball Z, you got, like, Krillin and Yamcha and, like, Tien and all these guys where it's, like, they're just kind of there to get beaten up until Goku shows up? That was basically Cody Rhodes' role in the stable. Him and Ted DiBiase would be the guys who would get in the way of people trying to get to Randy Orton. Now, in this case, Randy Orton was the bad guy. He was the bad guy. This run made him one of the biggest bad guys and made him, like, a mainstream star as far as wrestling, aside from the whole RKO meme out of nowhere. Y'all know what I'm talking about. Y'all know. Hold on. Just for all the people who might not know. Don't look at my recommended. Bro, just show me the meme. Just show a meme. Just show a meme. What is this editing? This isn't even a compilation, bro. Homie made like a whole fucking movie based on it. Bro, just... Okay, that. Okay, we all, okay, we understand now. I don't know why it was so hard to find any example. I would think if I just looked up meme, it would just come up, but apparently not. I'm sorry. Okay, that's that guy. The RKO I know guy. And then Tien and Yamcha, like Brad is saying in the chat, that was basically Cody Rhodes and Ted DiBiase. But eventually, in wrestling, when you got two younger guys with a world champion guy, and he's basically like their mentor, and also he's a bad guy, eventually the younger guys are like, you know what, I'm tired of carrying your bags around, I'm tired of being your little bitch boy, I want some of my own clout. Now, Ted DiBiase, he was also the son of a $1 million man, famous heel from the 80s. But they eventually were like, you know what, I'm tired of this shit. Fuck you, Randy Orton. We want to go and do our own shit. Ted DiBiase was not so successful, but Cody became a champion. Not a world champion. He wasn't WWE champion, but he became a very well-respected Intercontinental champion. Now, the Intercontinental Championship is basically like the TNT Championship that we talked about last time. I'm not going to go too into it, but it was basically where Cody proved himself. It's where he won over a lot of fans because he showed that he could work against guys like Rey Mysterio. Legendary wrestler. Y'all know Rey Mysterio. Y'all know this guy. This guy, I got his mask like Rey Mysterio. Basically like the most famous masked wrestler in the world today. That guy, he had like a amazing feud with him. He had matches with like John Morrison, CM Punk, and he was really winning people over because he was showing like, yo, he's got potential. He could be a main event guy. But the thing about WWE is, it's run by a senile old man. Wrestlers got the arc that our DBZ dudes never got. I mean, here's the thing. You're right. But when you're in wrestling, especially in WWE, WWE is run by an 80-year-old man named Vince McMahon. Vince McMahon, once he gets it in his head, once he starts to view you a certain way, it is very hard as a wrestler to break that image. So Cody Rhodes was kind of stuck in this place where Vince was like, alright, he's a great wrestler, but he's still that 19-year-old kid we had, just tagging along with Randy Orton. Like, he's not that great. So Cody kind of had to pivot a little bit. He had to, change his character up. I don't know if y'all know who Goldust is. Y'all know Goldust? I probably should have pulled up a picture of him before. Goldust. The dude who would basically, like, back in the 90s, kind of pull there's spoilers underneath. He would basically, like, kind of be homoerotic with his opponents to get them to kind of break and, like, be off guard. And it was kind of a homophobic character, but whatever. Like, shit, fuck it, bro. It was the 90s, it was wrestling, it's gonna be edgy, I don't know. I mean, it was kind of homophobic. It was a little problematic in hindsight, but, he played the character very well. And he made a career out of that. He made a career off that character. He's super well respected even to this day. He's a legend, and also the son of Dusty Rhodes, just like Cody Rhodes. This is Cody's older brother. So the pivot that Cody made to lose that kind of perception was to become Stardust. I'm mad that McMahon is the first name and recognized just because. Oh, okay, I see what you mean. Yeah, he has been around for a long time, and even then before his father was around. But Cody Rhodes pivoted into Stardust. That was a similar, very flamboyant, very over-the-top gimmick that he played very well. Maybe a little too well. Because now he was kind of in the same position as his brother. Because, listen, Goldust never won a world title. Like, there are plenty of roles in wrestling up and down the card. This is how I describe it to people. Because, like, a lot of people have trouble respecting people who are not main eventers, people who aren't world champions. Basically, think of it like a play. Being a good wrestler, or being a good actor, rather, is not necessarily... It's not necessarily about getting the lead role every time. Is Ziggy Stardust an influence? I think he was. I think that was actually an influence on the character. But it's not always about getting the lead role. If you're made to be a leading man, that's great. In wrestling, if you're made to be a leading man, you're going to get the world title. Like Brock Lesnar. Brock Lesnar, the only time Brock Lesnar has ever won a championship that's not a world title was in developmental with Shelton Benjamin as the tag team champion. Ever since then, every single title he has won in every promotion he has ever been in, whether it's WWE, New Japan, or even the UFC, it has always been a world title. That's because Brock is a leading man. Now, Is that because Brock is an amazing wrestler? He is very good, but that's not necessarily why. There are some amazing wrestlers like Goldust who will never be world champion because they're just so good at playing that mid card role. They're just a great asset to diversify the show, but they aren't really the main guy. And that's what started to happen with Cody here, is he was a little too good at playing this role. He knocked it out of the park just a little too much. And in WWE, he was just gridlocked to this mid-card position. So in 2016, when his time was up, he was like, you know what? I'm done. I'm leaving. And now you might be thinking like, okay, does that mean he stopped wrestling? No. He went outside of WWE. And he became a world champion elsewhere. He became Ring of Honor champion. He wrestled in the Tokyo Dome. He wrestled a ton of people outside of WWE. He would have never had the chance to wrestle if he didn't leave. And he made a name for himself and started to develop his character outside of WWE. Even to the point of that show a few years ago, he won the NWA Championship. And honestly, I was in the arena when that happened. It was one of the best matches from a storytelling perspective that I've ever seen, because that championship is the same world championship that his father Dusty Rhodes famously held. Now, granted, his father did usually book himself to win the championship, but that's neither here nor there. And in fact, I kind of wish that Cody did that a little bit himself, because shortly after, when the dust all settled from All In, from that very successful pay-per-view that Cody was very heavily credited with making happen. My inflection, what is it right now? It was a pay-per-view that Cody was heavily involved in making happen. So as a result, when AEW became a thing, and he was also credited with making that happen, and he was given a management position as executive vice president, he made a decision early on to gridlock himself out of the world title scene, which is a little bit insane. The same reason why he left WWE in the first place, the fact that he was never going to be able to compete for the world title, from the fact that he had this stigma around him, this typecasting about him. Now he was doing it to himself. And honestly, this is where Cody lost me. Now, if you follow me on Twitter and you've seen me talk about Cody Rhodes, I have been known for the last couple years to be a bit of a Cody Rhodes hater. I'm a bit of a hate watcher for Cody Rhodes. Cody Rhodes even made me stop watching AEW for a little bit, because I was like, dude, I am tired of this shit. What are you doing? Because what he ended up doing was he was basically in the mid-card, competing for the mid-card belt, when I'm like, dude, you're one of the top guys in this company. There are a bunch of young guys who are trying to make a name for themselves, and they're just jobbing to you because, like, why the fuck should they go over you? Like, you know what I mean? Like, he's just, like, beating Ricky Starks, beating Darby Allin. I meant to say Darby Allin, then I said Ricky Starks. That's why I stopped myself a little bit. I was like, wait, no. And I was like, well, actually, Ricky Starks counts too. Beating Sammy Guevara, which, I mean, whatever, dude. I don't even care about that. Beating Jungle Boy, beating all these young guys who are trying to, like, get their footing, trying to, like, you know, get some momentum to get over. And he's just like, well, I mean, I'm a main event guy. He was basically gentrifying the division. That's the best way I can put it. And he was like, I'm also a babyface. I'm also a good guy. Guys, come on, cheer me. I'm the guy who made all this happen. And then he started losing the crowd. As you would understand, like, people were like, dude, what is this shit? And also he cut a promo. Actually, let's find that promo real quick. Let me find the promo that made not just myself. Well, actually, I felt kind of vindicated, because I was already like, bro, I'm tired of this Cody Rhodes shit. Like, he needs to do something else, like literally anything else. And then he cut this promo. Me now. Like, this was the point where he lost a lot of people. This was the point where, like, you know, there are already people like me who are like, yo, Cody kind of comes out and just sucks his own dick a lot of the time. Like, it's kind of fucking shit up a little bit. This was kind of the point where people, like, the people who were like, nah, you're overreacting, like, that's not what's happening. This was the point where people started being like, you know what, actually, this was bad. This was really bad. He went and did all this stuff. He earned himself a lot of a lot of respect, a lot of prestige among wrestling fans, among hardcore wrestling fans, not just like your casual WWE fan, like the people like me who watch as much as we can. We watch all sorts of shit. We know who the best wrestlers in the world are. He earned our respect, and then he started doing shit like that. He started saying like, you know what, I'm not gonna compete for the world title. Why would I compete for the world title? That's crazy, you know, like. And the reason why was partly because like, you know, there's this like thing of like Jeff Jarrett back in the days of TNA when it was starting. He was the head booker, and he started putting the world title on himself every chance he got. So it kind of became like a meme of like, you know, when you book your own company, you put the world title on yourself, and then the product kind of suffers. And granted, that kind of started with Dusty Rhodes as well. Dusty Rhodes was also known. His father, Cody's father, was also known to do the same thing when he was a booker in the territories. Is he would be like, "Oh, we're getting the NWA championship. Well, who better to hold it than me? Who better to win it?" You know. But also, he did have like a legendary program with Flair where he cut like the still quoted to this day "son of a plumber" promo where he was like, you know, going up against this bougie ass fucking millionaire wrestler Ric Flair representing the working man. And that was a great story, and he won the NWA championship off of that. But Cody was just like, you know, he was like a top guy, but he didn't want to be a top guy. He didn't want to be booked like a top guy. And the thing is as people started to hate him because of shit like what we just saw, and the fact that he was basically gentrifying the undercard, he still wanted to be a good guy. He still wanted to play the role of the good guy in every story he was in. And based on rumors, I'm not gonna say this is a fact because things have been kind of conflated on what coming out of the situation is true and what isn't. But based on rumors, apparently Tony Khan kind of came to Cody and was like, "Listen, dude, I can't pay you like a main eventer if you are insistent on being in the undercard. Like, I can't pay you like a main eventer. I can't pay you like you're gonna draw money if you're not gonna let me draw money using you. Like, you don't want to turn heel. You don't want to be the bad guy, even when people are booing you out of the building. You don't want to win the world title. I can't justify paying you like a main guy." And Cody, understandably, like, he just had his daughter. He's in a position where he wants to make as much money as possible to, you know, do as good by his family as he possibly can, which is understandable. He decided to get up and leave AEW, let his contract expire, and he went to WWE. They made a great offer to him, and he returned to WWE with full fanfare, he got to keep his character, he got to keep everything. And now, he's kind of done what Drew McIntyre did, where Drew McIntyre, he was in the same spot, he was like a mid-card guy, he was doing a comedy gimmick, he was like, you know, I'm not going to go anywhere here. He left WWE, he went on the indies, a lot of the same places Cody went, for a couple years, got really fucking jacked, probably started on steroids, but I'm not sure about that. Got really fucking jacked and huge, completely revamped his character, came back, now he's been a world champion like twice. So, now, Cody's kind of trying to do the same thing. And honestly, like, here's the thing, I've been hating on Cody for like the last couple of years, but the reason I've been hating on Cody is because everything he does just isn't good. Like, it's not a personal thing if, like, I don't like him. And here's the thing, some people are like, "Oh, you know, you were never truly a fan if you gave up on him." Like, okay, yeah, I'm probably not a Cody Rhodes fan. Big shocker. But a lot of my friends have been coming to me because, holy fuck, I rail into Cody. If you think I'm bad on Twitter, you should hear me on Discord with my friends who also watch wrestling. The shit I've said about Cody, I go off about him. I'm like, dude, this guy is ruining everything. I fucking hate this dude. Like, I go nuts, dude. Like, because there have been so many guys where it's like, and Andrade was like one of the most recent examples where I'm like, this dude needs to be getting like something. He needs to be getting the TNT championship. He needs to be winning matches. And Cody just kind of like buried him because he did that whole spot where he put himself through a flaming table and then off of that got a 3 count on Andrade. So I'm like, dude, what the fuck is this, dude? Like, I was getting legitimately mad. And also just the fact that like everything, like he doesn't want to be like the big bad guy. He doesn't want to be like the Triple H type guy where he's just coming in on a reign of terror. He still wants to act like he's a good guy. Like, he just will not commit to anything. And I'm like, bro, what is going on here? Something needs to change. And that something, I think, is him going to WWE. Because, I'm going to be honest, I popped when he came out at WrestleMania. Because it's a change. It's a major change to go from one major company to another major company that does things completely differently. And I want to see him become a world champion in WWE. I want to see him, like, keep growing and keep... Because, like, I'm going to be honest, like, this dude's character has stagnated. Like, the way that his character has developed over the last couple of years is, I'm like, it's just ridiculous. It's ridiculous. He's not a likable guy anymore. It's like... But now, like, him in WWE, okay, like, he had a great match with Seth Rollins, and, like, he has the attitude that he's coming in with is completely different than the attitude that we, as the fans, were perceiving from him. And I'm honestly excited to see what he does in WWE. Like, I'm genuinely, like, happy, because I was like, dude, I was at the point where I was like, I don't even care what he does, but it can't be what he's doing now. Like, something has to change. And I think this is what's going to change. I think that this is a huge change for him. So, I'm all for it. And now, I think we can, I'm going to start getting into Q&A stuff. Alright? I'm going to leave this up for a second. Y'all can submit your questions, either reply to that tweet, or go on Instagram and respond to the story. I'm not going to say names, just because, like, some people, you know, submitted multiple, and I don't want to go through and be like, this person said this person said also said this, also said that. So, we're just going to go through them real quick. First question is, what's your biggest fear? I fear nothing. That's not true. What do I fear? I think I fear poverty, probably. Instability. Like, I don't want to just end up broke. I don't want to end up, like, on the streets. I don't want to have to ruin my mental health doing some shit like that. I fear failure. I fear being irrelevant. I fear furries, because they give me an uncanny thing. I fear that Chimera from Full Metal Alchemist, and that's probably why I fear furries, because it's the same uncanny valley feeling. I fear fascism. I fear the police. I fear a lot of things. So yeah. Next question. How often do you lie? Well, I just lied a minute ago when I was like, I fear nothing. But usually, here's the thing. It's like, I'm a comedian. I consider myself a bit of a comedian. I'm a comedian. I'm also a storyteller. I'm also someone who makes videos. And I'm also a social media personality. So I feel like with all those things, there's a certain level of, like, you have to lie a little bit. Because, like, you're always going to be lying in a way where it's, like, either you want to lie about, like, things that are small to make people perceive you a certain way, to create, like, a certain image of yourself, or you're gonna lie to just, like, create a story, you know, to, like, help people suspend their disbelief, or just lie as a joke, the way I lied about having Tom Holland. Like, bro, I'm sorry, like, it's sorry to pull the curtain back a little bit, but that wasn't actually Tom Holland on the show last week. That wasn't actually Tom Holland. I lied. It was April Fool's. I was like, I got you. Got you guys. I also lied saying that I would have a guest this week last week. So yeah, there's that too. That's a lie. That's a lie I told. Sorry guys. I lied to y'all. I mean, it wasn't really a lie because it was the truth in the moment, but it ended up being a lie, so... I mean, here's the thing. Otherwise, I'm a very honest person. Almost to a fault. I'm very blunt sometimes. Almost to a fault. But here's the thing, is I care a lot about being genuine. I care a lot about not sugarcoating shit. And again, maybe that fucks me up in some ways. As like a creator, as someone who's making content, as someone who's trying to like tell stories. As maybe I'm a little too honest. I almost said too bit honest. Maybe I'm a bit too honest about some things. And you know what? At least it's real. At least I'm not creating like a fake persona for people. And I don't think anyone I okay, the only example I can think of like someone who I've known who's a creator who just made like a fake persona is because that homie was a manipulative ass motherfucker, and I wouldn't normally say his name, but we got 2 viewers in here. Sorry, bro. Like, homie, if you are vanity searching that hard, and your irrelevance and your like canceledness, that you're gonna come to a stream this small, then like, I'm sorry, bro. Like, I usually don't mention him because like I know this homie's craved for attention, but like I don't think it matters in this case. If I had a larger platform, like yeah, sure, probably I would care a lot more, but I don't really care. Um, top 5 childhood shows. Now, are we talking shows from my childhood, how I would rank them now, or shows that I liked when I was a child? You know what? Let's just go with both. First, uh, as a child, Danny Phantom would definitely be up there because I really liked Danny Phantom because it was like action and stuff. Same for Teen Titans. I had a ton of Teen Titans like toys and stuff. I have no idea where they are now. Probably somewhere in the basement in a box somewhere. Um, Ed, Edd and Eddy. That was one of my favorite shows, and my mom hated it. My mom was always like, "This show is stupid. You're going to be stupid watching this show. This show is going to make you stupid," and I didn't care. I think that was one of the only cartoons where my mom would actually get upset about like me and my sister watching it. Rugrats I would put up there too. Why? I don't know. I just really I liked Rugrats a lot. And then number 5. Hmm. I actually don't know. What would be number 5? Number 5 cuz we only got one more, so that's a lot of pressure. Number 5, what was another show I really liked as a kid? Um See, we got Danny Phantom, Teen Titans, Rugrats, Ed and a Oh, Totally Spies. I loved Totally Spies. I would literally like every single day I would come home and watch Totally Spies. And honorable mention, I would say Stack Shock. As far as how I'd rank them now, like the shows that I watched when I was a child and how I would rank them now, uh, Avatar is definitely up there. I didn't really like Avatar when I was a kid because I didn't really get it. I think I don't think I really got it until like I got a little bit older and they started moving like into like the finale, and I realized like, oh shit, this is actually a really good show. Because like here's the thing, it's like I've said this. I don't think I've ever said this publicly. I've definitely said this to like Kevin and Shane, but when I was a kid watching Avatar, I didn't actually think they were gonna do it. Like I like they set up this whole premise of like he's gonna learn all the elements, he's gonna do all this stuff, and then he's gonna go and fight the Fire Lord. And I was so used to watching shows where they would like set stuff up like that and then not actually like follow through, like it would get canceled way before. Or they would be like it just wouldn't be like a continuous story. So it would just be like episodic and at first like Avatar kind of felt like that. Like book 1, people do not remember how slow book 1 was and how it's like very one-off episode type shit. Like people do not remember that because like the whole of Avatar is so good that you kind of forget that it's kind of slow in the beginning. Like when that was all that was there, I didn't think like I thought like okay, this is just gonna go for like a season, it'll get canceled, and then we're never gonna see him actually like master that shit. And then once they actually got to the point where it was happening, I was like, oh shit, wait, actually this is a fucking masterpiece of a show. Like that's crazy. So Avatar, I didn't really like as a kid, but now I do. Um, or not even now, but like I mean, I was still a kid technically, but like I don't really count that as like childhood shows. Fuck it, Sack Shock. We'll put in the actual thing. Um, what are shows? What are some shows that I didn't appreciate in the moment? Hey Arnold. I didn't like Hey Arnold. I genuinely didn't. I didn't like Hey Arnold when I was a kid because I think it was slow. Like it was slow. It had a lot of mature, emotional like themes I didn't understand. Like I was like, bro, where's the jokes? I came here for the jokes. Kim Possible is another one where I would say that happened. Now we're back to the one. Let's see. Fuck it, I'll say Courage. Courage the Cowardly Dog. I think I was actually afraid of Courage back then. I think it would actually scare me. Okay. I always thought Hey Arnold's colors were dull back then. Now I feel cozy. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, it's just like back then, I think that part of it too is like in that era, everything was so bright and loud that by comparison, like, Hey Arnold was just kind of like, it didn't stand out the same way that other stuff did. Do you plan on making more music anytime soon? Anytime soon. Here's the thing, I don't plan on making more music. I expect myself to make more music. Here's my thing when it comes to making music. I'm doing so much shit. Okay, I'm gonna give you the god honest truth. When I dropped my mixtape a couple of years ago, my main inspiration for that was I realized that going back to like the whole I try and be a very genuine person thing, I realized that a lot of music wasn't really like trying to say anything substantial. Like a lot of music I felt was a way for people to create this alternate reality where they were just like the coolest person in the world. Like you listen to a Drake song, Drake in real life, he's a fucking loser. Like he's a dork. But Drake will use his music to try and make him seem like the coolest motherfucker in the world. And I was like, there are so many different versions and variations on that throughout music, especially like in America, and especially in like the scene of like hip hop and like indie music that I was kind of going through at that time. And it was just like it was making me feel a need to make music that was just like, yeah, this is who I am. And like I would kind of try and parody that whole thing a little bit, like the what they were doing. And I think that kind of maybe wasn't done entirely well. But part of the whole thing was like, I'm not I don't have enough experience to make a really good album. And I knew that. And that was kind of holding me back. And like JPEG Mafia kind of inspired me because he had this whole like series on YouTube leading up to one of his fuck it, what was it? I don't remember which album it was, but he was doing like a series on YouTube where he would like show like rappers and producers and stuff like the songs he was making for that project, and they would be like, "Dude, this is garbage. Like this is awful, dude. Like why would you like, bro? I would never listen to this in my life." Like that kind of inspired me to be like, you know what? I'm gonna just make a mixtape of songs that are not good, songs that are just jokes, and I'm just gonna use that as a way to kind of figure out how to do shit. Like, and I figure I learned a lot about making, producing, and mixing music doing that. But like, since then, I haven't really had the same inspiration. Especially like, bro, I started listening to Twice, and Twice has made me confident in the music of today. Like, I'm like, dude, I don't need to contribute anything. Twice is out here, bro. Like they're like why would I would not listen to my music over a Twice song? Why listen to my music over like some of these like weird like flex culture like losers who are like, "Yo, I'm going to make a song about how I'm cool." Even though in real life I'm a fucking nerd. I'm a fucking dork. I got no sauce. I got no pussy. I got no bitches. I got no nothing. But I'm gonna make a song to make people think I do. I was like, bro, fuck that shit, dude. I'm, I'm like, I honestly, I should have made a song about getting no pussy, dude. I should have, but I don't really have the inspiration for it right now, and that's the main thing. Is like, do I want to make music become the bitches? Uh, it's gonna be a little hard for me. Anyways, yeah, I don't have I feel like I want to make some songs for fun, probably in the future, maybe in the near future, but like, I'm definitely not gonna do a whole mixtape or anything like that. That's for sure. Let's see. What is this? Have you ever had a crush on someone you didn't want to have a crush on? Yes. I've had friends. I've been friends with girls where I was like, I want to keep things platonic, and then it becomes very hard for things to stay platonic. And I've learned, here's the lesson I'll impart onto all of you. Do not fuck up your friendships like that. If you got a crush on someone that you're friends with, just say it. Just say it, because the longer you let that shit just fester in there, and the more you try and like pretend like everything's cool, if you're not open and upfront, if you're not open and upfront about that shit, you can't do anything about it. Cause like here's the thing, if you like say it and that ruins the friendship, that's a lot better than if you don't say it and then you just like start building up this resentment towards the person and then they start acting weird and they start it's especially bad if you are with a girl who wants a validation of knowing that you want her but is not interested in a relationship with you, because that shit just gets really toxic and will really fuck up your brain. Because then you just feel like you're just worthless, you know? It just fucks you up. So, if you get a crush on someone, just fucking say it, dude. Because here's the thing. I was like 20 when it computed in my brain. Like, I never really thought about this, I guess. But no one's stopping you. Like, you're not gonna get canceled or anything if you just go up to a girl and ask her out. If you know how to handle rejection, you'll be fine. And like that's the thing. It's like I think that we get so paralyzed by like, we don't want to be like canceled or whatever because like we came onto just like just ask her. Like I think we hear so many like stories about guys being pieces of shit that we're like we don't want to be a piece of shit. But like, dude, just like if you're interested in a girl, hell, even if you're in public, if you approach her in a way where she doesn't feel compelled to say yes, and also like you just make it clear in any way possible that like she's allowed to say no, just fucking say it. And in that case, what I should have done was I should have just been like, yo, like yeah, I've developed feelings for you. I didn't want to, but it happens. And I would go from there. If I had to stop being friends with her over it, whatever, dude. I mean, and that shit's dumb. Don't. Who cares? Honestly, who cares? It's you'll meet new people. That's the point. Like, don't put yourself through. Don't light yourself on fire to keep someone else warm. Like, you gotta put yourself. You gotta put yourself first once in a while. Just be honest about where you're at. So like that's my story of like having a crush on people I didn't want to have a crush on. It's here's the thing about dating as an adult. Just fucking say shit. Say what you mean. Be honest. If you're a guy, you have that privilege. You don't have to worry about a girl trying to kill you or whatever. Like girls have to worry about. Like just be honest and also just like don't try and make it seem like you're expecting a result. And also just don't expect a result. You don't gotta expect anything. Just like, I mean, listen, if a girl says no, you get to go back to whatever you were doing. Just chilling, being single. Being single's pretty great, honestly. Like, at this point in my life, I'm like, bro, I don't even want a relationship. Let's see. What kind of guys and girls would you like to date physically and personality wise? I'm gonna be honest. When it comes to guys, I don't really think about dating guys. I mean, like, okay, my sexuality, let's be real. I'm bisexual and probably heteromantic. Like, I am not going to say I would never be in a relationship with a guy, but when it comes to relationships, I'm mostly interested in women. Like, very, very strongly. Um, physically, in guys, honestly, dude, here's the thing. Universally, of guys, just take care of yourself, bro. And this is something like, dudes just across the board, like, just take care of yourself. Buy clothes that look good on you. I mean, that's a little bit of a skill. Groom yourself. Groom yourself specifically. Yourself. Like, make sure that, like, your hair looks... Find a haircut that looks good on you. Bathe. Do shit like that. Don't look like you are gross and nasty, and just present yourself as confidently as possible, and you'll be fine. Like, and also like exercising helps. Like that's the thing. It's like most things that will make you attractive as a guy are things that you can control. Exercise, dress well, and hygiene. Those are like the main three things. The main three things that will make you attractive as a man. The main three things. Everything else is kind of whatever. But if you really want to be attractive as a dude, you can control those three things. You know, I mean, there are other factors like, you know, dick size or whatever, but like, who gives a fuck? I mean, that shit is not as important as you think it is. Also, height. But I'm 5'7", and like, I've had incels come to me and be like, "You don't understand why I go." I'm like, "Bro, I've been in your position, dude. I've been in your exact position. I'm telling you how to get out of it." And you're like, "No, dude, you naturally have an advantage. You're naturally a Chad." Like, dude, shut the fuck up, dude. You just want to be an incel. Just admit it. Some dudes really expect the world to come to them treating themselves like garbage. Dude, it's all attitude, bro. It's all attitude. Like, as much as the like nobody's gonna love you unless you love yourself type shit is kind of bullshit, and like kind of fucks with people who, you know, might have issues and traumas, and like might make it's not entirely accurate. But like, if you're just gonna act like everything is fucked up and like you're just like a piece of shit that no one's ever gonna love, then like, self-fulfilling prophecy, my guy. Like, that's kind of what's gonna happen. Like, a lot of incels kind of put themselves in that position. As far as women, I always say I'm not attracted to. I prefer women who are not white, but I think part of the thing is like, I think it's mostly where I'm at. I grew up in like the suburbs of Detroit where there are a lot of white women, and like I think that's just kind of what I kind of like. That's the bulk of what's around me. And listen, I don't do it on purpose. I've ended up with a lot of white women over time. I've ended up with a lot of white women. So, I mean, but that's not really reflective of my taste in women. Honestly, there are not many things physically about a woman that I find unattractive. Aside from like basically the same shit I said about dudes. If you look like you do not shower and you do not take care of yourself, and like you're just like gross and like nasty, and also you don't know how I mean, the dressing part is kind of whatever. If you're a girl, I think that guys care a little bit less about that, or at least guys care about that when attracted to women. I mean, I care about when I look at guys. Like, I'm not gonna find a dude attractive if homie does not know how to dress himself. Like, a dude with style is attractive. A girl who doesn't have style can kind of get away with it. Female privilege. I'm sorry, guys. I'm sorry, fellas. But like, if a girl has style, that makes her much more attractive. Like, just saying. Personality wise, with girls, I don't know, dude. I try not to talk about absolutes in this when it comes to this kind of stuff. I don't. When it comes to apps, like it depends. Based on my experience, girls who are like really type A, not my thing. Like, girls who are like really high energy, really type A, really like, yo, let's go do shit. Like, yo, let's like, you know, that's not my thing. I was talking to a girl at one point who was like that, and she seemed pretty into me, but I was like, and all my friends were like, yo, dude, you should like date her. But I was like, I'm not feeling it, you know? Like, I wasn't feeling it because it's like, I felt like our personalities kind of collided, you know? Like, I'm just like, yo, let's just chill. I'm kind of laid back aside from being incredibly anxious as a person. But other than that, I like to be late. Like, here's the thing. That's like a bad combination. That's a bad combination when I'm both like, yo, I just want to chill and also I have anxiety, and then I'm with a girl who is really like high energy and really like type A and being like, all right, yo, like let's actively like do shit, like let's fucking go for a let's just be on. Let's do our taxes. That shit is like triggering for me. Like I'm just like, I don't know about that, homie. Like that's a little too much for me. It might just be me, but a dude in gym shorts and a t-shirt can ruin my life. I mean, that might just be you, homie. I mean, if it's flattering on his body, I mean, I guess like you can pull a lot of things off. Like, listen, I like wearing jorts. That's like a sin in fashion, but I like wearing jorts because I feel like it fits my personality and I can pull it off. I don't think any guy can pull off jorts, but I think I can. I think I got the body type and also like the personality where it works. So like, if it works, it works, and that's kind of part of the thing. Is like you gotta find your own personal style. Um, I mean, I guess like if we're going based on like I some for I'm kind of an introverted person, and I don't know what it says about me if like Mina is my favorite, my bias in Twice, and like she's the one who like I'm drawn to, and she's like probably one of the most introverted members of Twice, but also like she's a gamer, and also like I don't know, I don't want to turn this into. I mean, you know what? Actually, fuck it, dude. Let's talk about how much I like Twice. Let's talk about that. I mean, the reason why I like Mina, for the most part, like the main thing, is because when I was starting to get into Twice, Mina had just come back from. She had to take time off because she was going through mental shit. Like she was having extreme anxiety. She was questioning if she wanted to continue doing what she was doing, if she wanted to continue to be a performer. She was incredibly insecure about her ability to perform, despite the fact that she is amazing and perfect, and I want everybody to know that. That she is incredibly talented and amazing, but she didn't feel that way. She felt very low on herself. And she found the strength to come back. And at the time, when I started listening to Twice, I was down bad in my life. I was like very much questioning myself. I was coming back from like some of the worst depression of my life. Like genuinely. So like to see someone like her who was questioning like everything about herself, when I could see from the outside like, okay, this is an incredibly amazing person, like an incredibly talented and amazing performer, and even she is like having these doubts about herself. Even she is like at this low point where I was, and that like inspired me to be like, you know what, maybe this shit is in my head, you know, like maybe if she has the strength to come back, I can too. And like that inspired me. And that's like one of the main reasons why Mina is my bias. So yeah. I mean, I don't know. I don't know if that answers the question. Is that all the questions we got? I think that's all the questions we got. I managed to talk my ass off. Well, we managed to hit an hour and a half. We didn't even have a guest. You know what? I'm proud of that. You know what? I'm proud of that. We didn't really have a lot of viewers this time, but you know what? People were active in the chat, and that's I think I would rather have a few people being active in the chat and only have 2 or 3 viewers than have like 5 to 8 viewers and have it just be silent. So I'm gonna count that as a W. W of the week, I don't know, fucking who had a W this week? Who did something this week? Let's fuck it, like fuck it, bro. I'll give it to. Oh shit, that's my feed. I'll give it to Cody Rhodes. Fuck it, dude. Good job. You went back to WWE. You got to win at WrestleMania. Good job. Vice President of Pixar, bro? What happened? Oh, yeah. Wait. Fuck. Shit. Yeah, that shit happened. Bro, I really did not put enough thought into that. Vice President of Pixar. Let me find that. That's actually good looking out. If I don't have to give it to Cody, that's cool. Bro, look at this. Catherine Seraphian. Catherine Seraphian, and that just shows 2 white dudes. Just shows 4 white dudes. But yeah. People from the Turning Red. Yeah, producer and director. Okay, cool. I only saw that in my feed, and I didn't really commit it to memory. But yeah, okay. They got the W of the week. That's how it's gonna go. Awesome. Cool. Also, we actually do have a big guest coming next week, which is why I wasn't too stressed out about not getting a guest this week. I mean, I had a guest this week, and then, stuff came up with Ricky, and we had to move it, but I wasn't really trying too hard to find a replacement guest, because I was like, we got a big one next week. You might be wondering, who's next week's guest? Who's the big one? Twitch partner, Twitch ambassador, Data Dave will be. Oh my god, dude. Let's redo that. Let's redo that. I'm fucking up my scenes, bro. What is this, dude? I'm fucking up my scenes. Okay. We have a big guest next week. That's why I wasn't too broken up about not having a guest this week, because we got a big one next week. Twitch partner, Twitch ambassador, TikTok superstar, gamer, Data Dave will be on the show next week. Everyone tune in next week at 10 p.m. EST here live at twitch.tv/TommyPQM to see Data Dave. I'll be talking with him. He agreed to come on. He's an awesome dude. I've never had anything but positive interactions with him because he's an awesome dude. Also, hold up. Obligatory self-promotion. Follow me on Twitter. Also follow me on Instagram at the same handle. And also, make sure you subscribe to Sugma Mail. You can also go and subscribe to TommyPQM, youtube.com/TommyPQM. Hold on. And you can see all the VODs of Late Night Sugma program, including this one tomorrow. My name has been Tom. Thank you all so much for coming out. Thank you for coming out despite there not being a guest this week. And I'll see you next time. See ya!